Chief Jim Hopper's back, baby.
Twice!
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Stranger Things Season 5 update video. So every other week, Ross Duffer takes to Instagram to give us updates on filming, and today, we've got an update for weeks 9 and 10 of filming. We've got our first look at my favorite character from Stranger Things, and much more to talk about. So before I get into this thing, hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And if you guys want to watch Stranger Things with me, you can do so on my Patreon link down below. Currently watching through Stranger Things. We're about halfway through season 2 right now. We're having a blast rewatching the show, and we'd love for you guys to come join along with us. The commentary tracks for episode 1 of seasons 1 and 2 are free, so go check them out, link down below. Your support over on Patreon means the world and allows me to continue making these videos that I love so much. And of course, go show some love to the Unusual Couple podcast for weekly episodes with myself and my girlfriend Cam. In our recent ep, we talked Stranger Things season 5 tea. Alright, so like I mentioned up front, Ross Duffer has been giving us updates on Instagram every other week, and today we've got some juicy ones. He's got 8 photos, and I'm going to go through and break down each and every single one of them as always, so without further ado, let's do this thing. We're starting with a bang, because this first picture is the biggest by far. We've got our first look at Hopper, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause in the comments. The man, the myth, the legend, Chief Jim Hopper. We've got our first look at him in season 5, and he looks great. As you can see, he's got a scruffy beard. You can even see his hair's growing out quite a bit. Now, he's rocking a hat. The logo I couldn't really make out, but if someone wants to let me know in the comments, be my guest. But he's got a very Red Guardian look going on. For those who are like, what the hell is Red Guardian? That's a character he plays in the MCU, specifically the film Black Widow, and he's actually reprising that role in Thunderbolts, an upcoming MCU film that's starting to film very soon in Georgia. So he's going to be running back and forth between the Stranger Things 5 set and the Thunderbolts set, so it makes sense for them to write in his character to have this scruffy gray beard because it fits his character in the MCU, since he's going to be shooting both at the same time. But this longer hair and scruffy beard indicate the passage of time yet again, and if it already wasn't confirmed, this is just further proof of that. Even if you look at his attire, he's wearing a pair of blue jeans, he's got a red shirt with buttons, we can assume it's a long sleeve shirt, and then he's got a heavy coat on over that, so it's straight up cold during this season, meaning there's been some passage of time since March when season 4 ended, likely again all the way into the fall of 1987. But perhaps the biggest takeaway from this picture of Hopper is the fact that he's wearing a stopwatch around his neck. Now on the one hand, he could be using a stopwatch, maybe because the gang is trying to execute a plan in a certain amount of time, so they're prepping in order for things to go smoothly when the time comes, but on the other, this stopwatch could be hinting at potential time travel, which I know sounds like we're beating a dead horse at this point, but the amount of nods to time, clocks, and time travel in all of these Duffer Instagram posts, as well as all the behind-the-scenes stuff we've heard about season 5, is starting to add up. It's no longer just a coincidence, so we really do have to take into consideration the fact that they might be doing the damn thing when it comes to time travel in season 5. Now, where is Hopper in this picture? It's really hard to make out the exact set background, but if I had to guess, it's likely near the WSQK radio tower, or perhaps even the other set that was recently constructed where there's this big barn slash warehouse out in the middle of nowhere, so it's probably one of those two sets, as we know they've been filming there fairly recently. But man, does it feel good to see Hopper's beautiful face again. We don't have Joyce though, so I'm assuming we might get a look at her next week. But if we move on to the next picture, we've actually got this photo of the Duffers on set and they're laughing, but we can see to the left 2 characters. Now initially when I was scrolling through this post, I was like, is that Joyce? You know, Winona Ryder on set? But when you zoom in and kind of look at it, it seems like it's more so Maya Hawke than anyone else. And we can sort of make out a figure behind her, and that's likely Joe Keery as Steve, but again, it's hard to really make out because the photo's kind of blurry and views are obstructed. So no Joyce in this update, unfortunately, but we got one half of Jopper. I can assume maybe next week we'll see Joyce finally. As for where they are, again, it's kind of hard to make out. To the right, it looks like it could be the base of the WSQK radio station. Now, at first glance, this next picture seems like nothing, but if you dive into what it shows us, there are some huge clues as to where we could be headed in this final season. So this photo looks like a children's bedroom wall or even like a children's hospital room, and we see a poster of Alf. Now, for those who don't know, this was actually a sitcom that came out in the 80s, and there were 4 seasons. The final episode aired in 1990, but the show began in 1986. And Alf stands for Alien Life Form. But we've got that poster, there's some paint designs on the wall that look like they're catered to a younger kid, and at the bottom there's a bookshelf. We can see see a Peter Pan novel, a Fantastic sticker that says Mott's. When it comes to Mott's, I usually think of applesauce. I don't know about you guys though. A copy of the book, A Royal Pain. But the big takeaway here is there's a Nancy Drew book, and it's actually the first ever Nancy Drew book. This book is called The Secret of the Old Clock. Here's the plot synopsis of the book. The accidental rescue of a little girl who lives with her two great aunts leads to an adventurous search for a missing will. So the plot of this book essentially revolves around the search for a will, aka a legal document that is used when someone passes away to figure out how their belongings or possessions will be distributed. Well, as it turns out in this first Nancy Drew book, there's a journal that's discovered in an old clock that gives the location of the hidden will. When you take this and put it in the context of Stranger Things, it doesn't get more on the nose. As we all know, Will goes missing in the first episode of Stranger Things, and at first it seems like he was taken by the Demogorgon, but then obviously we would come to find out Vecna was in control of everything. Clocks had a very prominent role in season 4. So all of this is just further leading me to believe that Vecna and Will are going to have huge roles in the final season, specifically their connection. We're probably going to gain a lot of new information that's going to recontextualize what we think we know about the show so far, specifically the Upside Down. And I'm genuinely excited to see what lore the Duffer Brothers unveil, because they have a clear vision and there are certain answers we as fans need to really understand the Upside Down. I think they're finally going to deliver that in this last season. Now in this next photo, we see a picture of some heels, and behind them is like a green tile and they're on carpet. Now when I saw this, my mind immediately went to Karen Wheeler, because in season 2 there's a scene where she's in her bathroom and that's when Billy shows up to her house, but the tile on her bathroom wall is this green, so I think it's a safe assumption to make that these are Karen Wheeler's shoes. What significance do they have? Not much. It's probably just, hey, here's this picture we're gonna give you guys for an Instagram photo dump. This next photo is a picture of the Rainbow Room that has blood references written on it, and this photo looks like the aftermath of the massacre at Hawkins' lab. It having blood references written on it though has me thinking that the Duffer Brothers might be recreating a flashback scene from this time period that again could be used to recontextualize the show as we know it. They love to throw their flashbacks in, and in season 4 we got tons of them, so in this final season, what if we go back to the Rainbow Room and we see more of the aftermath of the massacre at Hawkins' lab, and that's why they have references for blood, because they're gonna need to figure out where to put the blood stains on the floor and the walls, and how all the desks and chairs are flipped over. They gotta match that up for continuity's sake. That was my first thought, but who really knows? This photo looks like it's on top of a binder, and above that we can see some red and blue pieces that look exactly like the puzzle pieces that would be in the Rainbow Room when the kids are doing their mind puzzles. This next photo is a billboard that says Turnbow Land Development and Realty, and the real kicker here is that there are some vines from the Upside Down growing all over this billboard, leading us to further believe that the Upside Down's presence is running rampant throughout Hawkins. Even if it goes dormant for a bit, it's coming back to life at some point. And in season 5, we're really going to explore how the Upside Down has merged into Hawkins and how that's affected life in this small town city. I also wonder if this realty sign could be hinting at characters potentially leaving Hawkins once everything is said and done. We know the Byers went to California at the end of season 3 leading into season 4, so maybe at the end of the show everyone leaves Hawkins, but at the same time, would that feel right? It's hard to say. We'll have to see how things play out in this final season. In this next photo, we can see the interior of a huge indoor set. I really wonder what they're filming for in here. My guess would be scenes in the Upside Down that they want to keep hidden from the public eye and the paparazzi. Again, there's so much CGI involved with Upside Down sequences that it's hard to make out anything here, because they would just add anything in post to make it look like a final product. But in the middle of this photo, we see Brozone taped on what looks like the backside of some monitors that the directors would be looking at. This could be referring to many things. Number one, the fact that the Duffer Brothers are brothers, so it's the Brozone. In fact, that's pretty much 100% what it is. You can actually see the director's chairs behind them, which are for Ross and Matt Duffer to sit in, so this tape signifying Bro Zone is just like, hey, this is the Duffer Brothers zone, you don't mess with it. But then it got me thinking, what if someone really does get friend-zoned in this final season of Stranger Things? Stancy Jancy? We'll see. And of course, rounding out this Instagram photo dump, we've got another marble added to the day's shot bowl. Things are really going full Oppenheimer now, if you know what I mean. But that's everything we got from Ross Duffer on his Instagram this week. The big takeaways being we have our first official look at Hopper in the final season, as well as some hints at Will and Vecna's relationship in this final season of the show. But every day we're getting closer and closer to season 5, and every 2 weeks we're getting more and more information about this final season. Joyce has to be next in my opinion. I feel like in 2 weeks we'll get our first look at Winona Ryder, because we've seen most of the other main characters already. So it'd be only right to go Hopper, then Joyce. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys make of all these pictures that Ross Duffer posted. What are your predictions based on everything I just talked about? Let me know know that. And of course, hit that like button, subscribe into that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And if you guys want to watch Stranger Things with me, come join the Patreon link down below. We have tons of fun over there. We've watched through all of season 1. We're halfway through season 2 right now. So I'd love for you guys to come watch along with me, and your support on Patreon means the world and allows me to continue making these videos. Anything goes a very long way. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.